One of the most beautiful things that someone ever said to me was that they love looking through the world through my eyes. And yesterday, I was doing some deep diving because my eyes weren't looking at the world in the way that I wanted them to. And I went to Ram Dass because he's someone that I go to oftentimes when I just really need to key in. And it was on the topic of becoming nobody, which if you haven't listened to it, I strongly encourage you to. One of the things that was striking, it was near the end of his life, part of that film, and his eyes are this beautiful blue, open color. But when he was talking to the people, he was taking in all of them. And you could see it. And you could feel it in his energy. You could experience it in his words and his expressions. That I see the soul of you. And it was really deep and really profound and really powerful. And what he kept talking about is that in the letting go of who we are as a human, and the letting go of like the personality of Heather, how Heather is viewed, or being somebody in the world, and how you think of me, and blah, 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 or how I think of myself, to pull back into the bigger place and to look at the whole experience of life. And then in doing so, the places of suffering and pain and hurt are still very much there, but they're part of the color of the kaleidoscope of life and the gloriousness of all of it, be it the struggle and the suffering and the questioning and the wondering and the beating yourself up and the needing to prove and the ego and all the joys and the release. He said something really powerful. He said that when you try to fight against something, when you try to make yourself let go of something, you're caught, you're stuck, because the focus becomes more so what you're trying to change or let go of. And that the real place of peace, the real place of bliss, is in freedom. And in freedom, you don't let go of anything. In freedom, you don't hold on to anything. In freedom, you don't try to push anything. In freedom, you're just a part of everything. And he talked about the tragic moment when a child is about to die and the suffering that it has gone through, and that you're very much aware of that. And yet at the same time to also embrace the fact that at one moment there was the beauty and the joy of the child being born. And so he talked about how life is a compilation of all. And yes, we feel the suffering, and yes, we feel the struggle, and yes, we feel the pain, and it is a moment, or maybe many moments. And yet there also have been moments of beauty and love and light, and to recognize that it is all of them together, and that if we choose to, we can simply be where we are, whether that be in a place of joy or hunger or sadness or sorrow or delight or ecstasy. That there's a place of letting yourself just recognize this is what is. I am what is. And that opens you up to everything. I'd love to hear your thoughts.